Welcome to the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the vikingage.com. My name is Chris Schad. I write for Fansided and Zone Coverage. He is Nick Marty, filling in for Adam Patrick this week. And we do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. And we're also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. Nick, welcome back to the show. How's your bracket doing? That seems like the icebreaker topic right now.
Not well. I didn't go like hog wild into a bunch of pools this year. Instead, I'm in one with the three ladies I live with at home for a single $50 Visa gift card. My daughters took Florida and Duke, and so I couldn't choose those two teams, though I wanted to. So, of course, I went St. John's. They were my third favorite team. And so Dad has already been eliminated. And it's getting ruthless. My girls are getting older, and it's not fun anymore. They are ruthless now, though they're hating on each other tonight. One has Maryland going to the Final Four, the other Florida. So they're angry at each other. It's a blast. I love sports.
They're angry. They're using their moves that they've learned watching WWE with their dad. It sounds like a very tense situation. Mine is not in good shape. I don't know. I think it was just the first 2 weeks because I'm just like, man, this is kind of boring. So I haven't really checked mine. But I did something different this year because I saw it on the internet. Don't always try things you see on the internet, by the way. That's a horrible idea. But with brackets, it's a good idea because I've always done the sheet of integrity strategy. So when the bracket comes out, I just put a bracket in front of me and I just fill it out without even thinking and just gut feel and vibes. So that is one bracket that I do. The second one, full-blown research. I looked up teams for 90 minutes. I did all of that. Everything looked okay there. I think I had Wisconsin in the Final Four in that one, so maybe not, but that's the one I want to do well because it's like I put the most time and effort into this. Like, come on, let's just do it. And then the third one is what do you want? What do I want to happen? So I went through that and so I haven't really looked. I'll probably check it tonight and just see if I'm winning money. But I mean, I was just kind of adding it up in my head. I'm like, I'm not winning any money. So might as well just enjoy the games at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I know win or lose, it's a blast of a tournament. It's one of my favorite events all year. Basketball nonstop, hockey starting up, NCAA hockey tonight, like the Twins opening day. Like it's a good day, whether our teams win or not. It's at least there's enough content for me today to do some major channel flipping.
I've always thought of this. March Madness is like the gateway to all the cool things in this. Like this is my favorite time of year, and I'm partial because my birthday is on April 14th. So, you have March Madness, then you have opening day, then you have WrestleMania, even though it's pushed back a little bit this year. Then you have the NFL draft, like those events right in a row. It's and it gets warmer outside. You can go outside and the air doesn't hurt your face. It's a great time. And I would love to talk about everything that is going on leading up to the draft. But there's just one problem. Aaron Rodgers won't die. Like that is it. Figuratively, not literally. We're not wishing for anybody's death on the show, but he will not go away. We have tried. Tom Pelissero has been like, nope, they're moving forward with JJ McCarthy. But does it really mean that they're moving forward? No. We're still here. So my idea for the show, and we'll get into some other things too as we kind of mosey along. Do people still say mosey?
You did, so some people are still saying it.
I guess I'm cool. I don't know. I'll be 39 next month, so that is that. But I want to go through the timeline of events and basically maybe some ebb and flow. If you got a thought you want to drop, go ahead. If I got a thought, I might just rant uncontrollably, and you might have to stop me. Just like, Chris is blacking out again. Here we go, because this is a very stressful situation. So let's run through the timeline of events. Let's go back to Friday, day after. Adam and I record a show that says the Aaron Rodgers circus is over. Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, where he visits with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He takes a tour of the facilities. He meets with Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan, the general manager, knocked out the whole salary. I think he had lunch. I don't know. Maybe they had some ayahuasca or whatever. Then he left without signing a contract. So that's concerning, right?
Yeah. I mean, everything points towards we are the ones he is swooning after. He feels like it's kind of like when we're the beautiful girl that he really wants to go out with, like really wants to go out with. And we haven't shut the door on him yet. We're keeping him in the friend zone right now, right? That's what it feels like to me. And so he's afraid. He's got this wonderful sweetheart of a girl in the Pittsburgh Steelers there, who's willing to take him, willing to start a life with him. Yet he knows our door is it, there still is a chance over here. So he can't commit over there. And we just keep leading him on. And so that's how I see it is this is a relationship in which we, in this Aaron Rodgers relationship, we're the hot girl, Chris, who he wants, and he can't quite get us.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about this before where it's just like he's probably sitting there being like, okay, I was in a great situation in Green Bay, great infrastructure, great organization. I got traded to the Jets and it was an absolute gong show. I don't want to be in that situation again. He looks at the Steelers, Mike Tomlin's there. That's a plus, right? But I mean, Arthur, I was going to call him blank. Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator there. He doesn't really know what he's doing. His two receivers are probably going to fight cornerbacks more than get open. They might fight each other on national television, George Pickens and DK Metcalf. I don't know what will happen. Seems like a very unstable situation. But when you look at the Vikings, you have Justin Jefferson, you have a rebuilt offensive line, you have Kevin O'Connell, who rehabs quarterbacks. The joke that I have made is that, Anthony Richardson is going to get dumped at the steps of TCO Performance Center, foaming at the mouth, but Aaron Rodgers might physically be foaming at the mouth after his time with the Jets and a lot of drugs. So I'm not surprised by any of this. And I think the only thing that's kind of funny is like, the Steelers basically took Aaron Rodgers on a wonderful date. They had dinner, they did everything and this stuff. And then, I don't really feel a spark. So I'm going to go home, and you never call him again. And that's where it gets a little concerning because he went home, nothing to think about here. I mean, this is still kind of like very low level of concern, but not like, oh my God, he's signing it. Because over the weekend, the Vikings chatted it up with Ryan Tannehill. They saw another girl. So, I don't know, maybe this is, I don't even know the analogy at this point. It's getting kind of messy, but due diligence, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it from Aaron's point of view, right? And I think the whole world knows it. You can go to Pittsburgh, you will go 9-8, right? Because that's what they do, right? Is they get their record. They're 500 again, but they're not really a threat. Or he looks at the shiny toy, like the Vikings are primed, right? He would have everything, probably the most weapons he's ever had in his career, the chance to get back at Green Bay to show them what they're missing. Like, it has so many built-in things for Aaron to come here. Now, if we want to talk the Viking side of things, I'm glad they're keeping him at least so far, at a distance. I wish they'd shut the door completely. But from Aaron's point of view, it has all the boxes that his prima donna, egotistical, like, plus it's a great situation. And so I don't know, man. I am sitting here going, I thought it was over. And now I don't know if it's over, but I think it's over. But maybe there's not over. Like, it feels
They're gaslighting him. That's exactly what's happening right now. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, okay, like people always ask, like, who do you want the backup quarterback? I don't care as long as it's not Aaron Rodgers. And we're both wrestling fans. We remember the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns feud back in the day where he said, anybody but you, Roman, anybody but you, Aaron, anybody but you. You could give me Ryan Tannehill. I know he's signed. You could give me Jameis Winston. You could give me, I don't know, a community. You could put Brett Rippon as the QB2. And Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah said that he's currently comfortable with his quarterback room, which is probably a lie, but I don't care, because if the backup quarterback matters, we're in trouble, because it should be JJ McCarthy's job.
Yeah.
Now, this is where everything got out of hand. Tuesday, JJ McCarthy was interviewed by Kay Adams, who will get anything out of any NFL player. And JJ was looking jacked up. It's a miracle, actually, because people are like, "Oh my God, he looks so frail on the sideline against the Lions. He's not going to get over to." Well, now he's over 200 pounds. So he's packing on the muscle, doing a little bit of training. And then he said he hasn't been told he's QB1 yet, and everybody freaked out. So after a whole bunch of headlines and everything else, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah came out of his hole and addressed the media on Wednesday. And this is the quote that really made everybody lose their minds. Yeah, so this is courtesy of Alec Lewis of The Athletic, by the way. Yeah, so you're talking about a player who Kevin has known for a long time. When you have a relationship like that, I'm typically the type who is, hey, who's ever got the best relationship, talk to them. If I'm like the dork Elvis, Kevin is like the QB Elvis type of guy. He's got a lot of respect in that community, and he deserves it. Not just for what he brings from a schematic standpoint, but how he cares about players and people. A lot of times the environments around quarterbacks are not supportive to quarterbacks. And so for that reason, he's got a great relationship with a lot of these guys. He's got a great relationship with Aaron. They've had a lot of conversations. He looped us in. We kind of met and we went from there. It's a new thing to talk about a player of that caliber. I'm always somebody who wants to learn and grow myself. So being involved in those dialogues was really special. Okay. So this is what I'm taking out of it. And we've kind of danced around a little bit here and there, but the Vikings are making JJ McCarthy earn the number one job. They want him to be the starting quarterback. They want it to happen. But if he sucks, if he gets hurt, if he, gets food poisoning, or Aaron Rodgers, has a voodoo doll and stabs him 100 times in his knee, they want to make sure Aaron Rodgers is available and not somewhere overdosing on toad venom. Is this the right approach for the Vikings, you think? Because we talked about, they're gaslighting Aaron Rodgers right now, but I mean, it just feels like, I don't know. It's very odd to me.
Yeah, here's my take on a few things. Are they playing it right? I don't know. I don't know what their end game is, but here's a couple of things that I think they're setting up for. And so here's why I'm okay with how they're playing it. One, if JJ is their guy, right? They're leaving an option open if like all of those things you said come true, right? If the knee's not ready, or he totally can't handle the job, which I don't foresee, right? So that you have a relationship with Aaron there, and you could bring him in and cause some excitement. But I think the two things that really sit with me are, number one, if Aaron is on their wish list, right? If he is seriously someone they're considering, this feels like a moment where they're already telling him, like, you don't get to call the shots, right? Like, we are an organization we would, you are great. Thank you for everything you've done for this league, and you're a fantastic quarterback, but like, we are okay without you. So if you want to be here, like, you have to fit into our system. We're not going to cave to you, right? The other thing I keep thinking of is Aaron, probably has a pretty high price tag. I think a little bit of this is calling their bluff to see, well, if you really want all of this situation, if you want a real chance at a Super Bowl again and redemption, like, us playing hard to get might bring that price for Aaron Rodgers down as well. Now, whether that's a good decision or not, to me, that these are some of the strategic moves I see them playing in which they give themselves options. They tell Aaron, like, listen, like you're not the team, right? You are coming in to be a piece if you are coming in, and maybe bringing the price tag from 30 some million down, to be able to say, listen, you want it, this is what we got for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very polarizing topic according to Vikings fans because I took a trip to the cities. I went and saw the Bar Down Beauties podcast over at Tom Reed's. They had a live show. If you're a hockey fan, you should go check them out.
It's
I
solid.
talked with Jesse Pierce, my friend Kirsten Kroll, also there, do a great job. But Jesse also does some Viking stuff. She does Before I Die over on Score North, and we kind of had a brief conversation about the Vikings, and she's like, Vikings going to win a Super Bowl this year. And I'm like, I don't know. And she said, well, I mean, I brought up the point that, I don't want Aaron Rodgers on this team. And I think a lot of Vikings fans feel the same way. Mainly because JJ McCarthy, without playing an actual down of football outside of preseason games, has somehow become our quarterback. You're seeing it in, he's going around and giving homeless people food and coats. He's putting inspirational messages like, the Gophers just hired, not to keep going off on other sports here, but the Gophers just hired a head coach, Nico Medved. And I watched the press conference, and, the thing is, win the press conference, right? Win the introductory press conference, sell hope, right? JJ McCarthy has sold hope just with his positive attitude, with, the takes by draft analysts like Thor Nystrom, who's a big JJ McCarthy fan, like people watching him at the University of Michigan, Jim Harbaugh being his biggest supporter to the point where he may have dangled Justin Herbert to trade for JJ McCarthy, which all of that just screams, hey, you should start this kid. And I think too, there's some emotional carryover. Like when you and I were kids, Dante Culpepper sat out his rookie year. And then next thing you know, they plug him into the lineup in 2000 and they're going to the NFC Championship game. I think after last year, not being able to see McCarthy, because in my opinion, I think JJ McCarthy was going to be the starter by midseason. I know Sam Darnold had a great year, but I mean, you look at that Jacksonville game where he threw 3 picks. There is no way that JJ McCarthy is not starting unless he's like drooling on himself on the sideline. Like that, I think would have been the turning point, and JJ McCarthy would already be in the starting position. To bring Aaron Rodgers in, it would just feel like, he just represents something different than Brett Favre, where I know Favre's bad person now with the welfare and all that other off the field stuff. But I mean, Rodgers, the championship belt, the off the field stuff, the immunized stuff from the COVID stuff, which I mean, now it's kind of hilarious because he wasn't alone with people. I mean, Kirk Cousins said he wanted to like entomb himself in plexiglass to play football. Like it was that crazy. Like I would just have a hard time cheering for the Vikings if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, because, and I mean, yeah, maybe it takes one or two, like the Brett Favre to Greg Lewis throw that changes everything. But I mean, it just feels unnecessary because a lot of Vikings fans believe that they have the guy. So, I mean, here's my question for you. Like everybody now is looking at these comments and they're saying, oh man, the spring's really going to be important for JJ McCarthy. Like the pressure is on. I think the pressure was on no matter what would happen, whether Aaron Rodgers was involved or not. Everybody was going to have eyes on it, JJ McCarthy, because if you remember when they were cultivating Teddy Bridgewater, it was how's Teddy look? How's Teddy look? How's Teddy? Like it was going to be how's JJ look all the time. Now it's like even more because I mean, what do you think JJ has to do? Does he just have to be functional, or does he need to be, in this case, 2020 prime or whatever Kevin O'Connell thinks he can get out of Aaron Rodgers?
Well, when you go out and make the moves the Vikings did, right? Like you put a lot of pressure on this young kid, right? Like I'm one that is, if they go JJ, my expectation is he's a top 15 quarterback this year. I'm not looking for Patrick Mahomes, but I'm also not looking for Christian Ponder, who we are babying. Like, if you are going to go this way, because I think there's a very strong argument to be made that in the short term for this season, Aaron Rodgers gives you a better chance to win a Super Bowl than JJ McCarthy. I think there's an argument. I'm not saying I agree with it 100%. I think there's an argument, right? And so for me, it's, are we deviating from the plan that seems to have been set because this shiny coin has shown up? Or are we going to do, which this administration and this group has seemed to do, is like, no, we're sticking with this long-term plan that we had. And I'm fearful, one, that we're going to expect JJ to be Patrick Mahomes, which he doesn't have to be, but he does need to be a top 15 quarterback. And two, like, all this Rodgers talk, all this stuff, like, if he struggles, then there's going to be a side of the population who's like, we should have signed Rodgers. We should have signed Rodgers. So, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on this kid. But that's also, like, I mean, old cliche, but that's how diamonds are made too, right? I'm tired. Like, let's see it. Let's see if we have a guy. And I think JJ has some of the intangibles to be the guy. The kid won a national championship. He daggered Alabama, the big bad ball. Like, I was so impressed with the few throws he made in that game were absolute daggers.
The Dallas Turner throw.
Yes.
Remember, Dallas Turner murdered him, and he threw a, what was it, 40-yard strike downfield? I don't know if it was 40 yards, but I mean, he threw it, like you said, he daggered Alabama.
Yep. And so if they go JJ, that means that they have faith in him. And I want to see if we got a guy. Like, I'm in the camp of, let's stick with the plan. Don't go with the shiny coin, even if, like, hey, this year could be really special. Also, your Brett Favre thing. Yeah, Brett Favre's kind of a D-bag now. But, like, he was easier to cheer for as a player. Like,
yeah.
As a Packer, I disliked him because he was a Packer, but he looked like he was having a blast all the time. Rodgers isn't easy to cheer for. I have Packer friends who have said he's not easy to cheer for.
I don't think he likes football.
I don't think he likes life.
He likes football. Yeah, no, like, he wants to die and just become a, extraterrestrial, star, glide across the galaxy in the starship. Like, he looks like the dude, like, he looks like he listened to Bill Walton and, like, believed him.
Yeah.
Like
the Anchorman scene, right? Where he's riding on the unicorn, that's what I see in, like, Aaron Rodgers' mind. But yeah,
you just go in the brain and, like, more than a feeling, just playing. Just
I don't know. I think if they don't, they know what they have in JJ, and I hope he's the guy. I don't want a 1-year fix. I would love for them to go JJ, have him ball out, and then, dude, we finally have someone who, for the next 10 years, we don't have to have this conversation yearly, which I feel like you and I have had. Who's going to be the quarterback? Is he actually good enough to be the quarterback? Should we let him go for like 5 or 6 years now? I just want to know and have the guy. I want to be Buffalo, where it's just like, let's build around this guy. Like, we know what Josh Allen is going to be. We know what JJ is going to be. Let's just roll with it.
It goes back to Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's kind of origin interview with Jory Epstein, where he said, you don't want to be a team that just goes all in 1 year and you get one bite at the apple and then you're back into rebuild mode. Like, you want multiple bites at the apple. Mm-hmm. I think throughout Viking history, it's been pop-up year, pop-up year, pop-up year, pop-up year. And, like, there's never actually been a long-term plan. It feels like there's a long-term plan here with JJ McCarthy. I would rather get that plan going. And like I said, I said at the beginning of the offseason, if he's healthy enough to play, let him earn the job. If it is that bad where they have to call Aaron Rodgers, I like the idea they're keeping it open. I think here's another reason why I think Vikings fans are a little triggered by this, because, the media has gotten very testy, very upset. And I understand when people challenge your credibility, you're going to get pissed off. Totally understand. But I mean, it just seems like everybody in Minnesota understands what's happening. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna let JJ try and earn the job, and if he sucks, they'll call Aaron Rodgers. But then you have people like Diana Rossini of The Athletic, who nothing wrong with the reporting. I want to make that crystal clear because everything that they've said makes sense. The Vikings have talked to Aaron Rodgers, yes, and I know you could probably go back a couple episodes to me like trashing them. Okay, they were right. I can admit that. That's totally fine. You know, everything that has been reported makes sense by all things because it kind of ties together, right? But I mean, it's her going on Dan Patrick's show being like, I think he's gonna be a Viking. Isn't that so exciting? I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to be a Viking. All Vikings fans like, no, we don't want this. And then too, like her Scoop City co-host Chase Daniel, clipboard Jesus, makes a lot more money just holding a clipboard than I ever did. He's out there, like people like him. And I'm singling him out, but I mean, it's several analysts who just think that there is no world where JJ McCarthy can be a functional quarterback next season, even though we see this all the time. Teams turn to young quarterbacks all the time and they pan out and they make the playoffs. I mean, Mac Jones made the playoffs in his rookie year. Like that team is not built for him to fail. So I think it's just weird to me that, you know, everybody just kind of acts like Aaron Rodgers is the only way the Vikings can compete. The odds, the championship odds for the Vikings went down. They got longer, I guess. Sorry, I write about betting for a living. They got longer when they said they're moving on from Aaron Rodgers last week. It's like, well, what? I mean, they got longer when they went to Sam Darnold after JJ McCarthy got hurt. It's like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. I mean, it is a crisis because people do not want it to happen. I am in that group, but I think it's a real, I think it's more real than we dismissed it a couple weeks ago. And I you know, my money's on JJ McCarthy to be QB1 in 2025. But if Aaron Rodgers comes aboard, I guess it wouldn't be a total shock. And we'll just figure. I mean, that's the other thing, too. It's like if Aaron Rodgers comes along and like that's how the Vikings win the Super Bowl, like, we will never live it down. Like that could be the one Super Bowl we have. And Packer fans would be like, well, you did it with Aaron Rodgers. And that's the other thing, too. Packer fans, they would not be like, oh, shit, here's Aaron Rodgers. No, they would laugh their ass off. Like, God, you guys are pathetic. Like Aaron Jones, Greg Jennings. Who else am I forgetting?
Former Packers that came over.
The pipeline. There's one on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to mention his name, but yeah, it's just it's annoying. It's obnoxious, and that's pretty much it. So that is exactly what I think of the Aaron Rodgers situation. But I do want to, before we move on, talk about our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Do you want to win up to 1,000 times your money? Of course you do. And you can do it at Underdog. To play, just choose whether a player will go higher or lower on their stats, such as points, assists, rebounds, and more. They've got all of your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. And best of all, they have March Madness, the NCAA tournament. If you're watching a game, you can create an entry. You can go higher or lower. We just talked about how our brackets are smashed. Nick, you can go on Underdog and you can make picks to kind of feel the race. Maybe you could pay for that $50 gift card. You can do all that. And even if you're not a college basketball guy, I hit baseball hard today and I actually got a win. I went higher on Paul Skeens strikeouts against the Miami Marlins. And I also went higher on Sonny Gray earned runs. I got $21 on a $10 bet just like that. And you can win too. All you have to do is download the Underdog app. Sign up now with the promo code TheAge to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with the promo code TheAge. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama or Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply, void in Colorado. And if you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. All right. So we have the first wave of free agency done. And the other thing, too, that was kind of discussed, I guess we can just hit this quickly. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah said there hasn't been like a ton of progress on a contract, but it also sounds like it's kind of busy right now. So, I mean, are you worried about that or?
No, I think it'll play itself out.
And that's kind of why I'm getting into this here. Like after the first wave of free agency, I mean, that's what's so disappointing about the Aaron Rodgers thing. It just overshadows everything that they've done so far. You know, what is your favorite thing that the Vikings have done in this first wave of free agency?
I mean, I've been screaming for years to fortify the interior of the offensive line. Like, it has been a problem for not just a single year, but for I don't know, probably half a decade now. And so I love that we didn't go sexy and we built the offensive line. We finally got rid of the tiny little Garrett Bradbury, who the amount of times I've thrown my like styrofoam Vikings brick across the room because he gets absolutely just mauled by, a man twice his size. Not even his fault. Like, he just wasn't built to be an NFL center. I'm very happy with that. I love the same thing. You win in the trenches. I think the Eagles showed us that this year. And so I just love both sides of the ball, and actually really love the Rondale Moore pickup as well. Like, I watched him live, and I know he's coming off a knee injury. NFL's a different game, but he's probably top 3 most impressive athletes I have seen live at a college game. I mean, Trayvon Henderson, I watched him like torch the Gophers a while back, and I was like, oh, that dude is different. He is faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. But Rondale Moore is cool, and I think it was a pretty high upside, low risk as a nice little slot. He doesn't need to be anything, Pro Bowl level, but he gives us another layer, and O'Connell probably will have some fun things planned for him.
I will jump in on this as well, because there's one thing that you left out: the trade for Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
I think that is a great move. I like the fact that he can get some yards after contact. The offensive line, that's offensive and defensive lines both. Like, they haven't had a guy that can just move people in the trenches on either side of the ball for a while. I mean, you had Christian Derzon, Brian O'Neill on the outsides, but I mean, that interior has been a weakness for God knows how long. Like, when Grady Jarrett signed with the Chicago Bears right after free agency, I'm like, we're in trouble because Garrett Bradbury, like, and I know too, like, people have talked to me, like, they've been like, well, he knows the offense and, he's really smart and whatever. And I'm like, that's great. I'm sure he's a great dude, but that dude is going to get tossed around in November and going to be like, why can't we find a center? Like, find a center. Ryan Kelly is not a safe bet, but it's a low cap hit. It's basically a 1-year contract. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those are all good things. I mean, I love what they've done. I mean, it's the number one reason why I'm kind of like, hey, like, if you want to extend Kwesi, go ahead. I'm not going to have any arguments about it because, as the kids say, Kwesi has been cooking. The only thing, maybe the backup quarterback thing, but even that has a reason because of the comp pick formula. Excuse me, getting a little tickle in my throat. The Vikings right now have a 3rd and a 4th, according to the formula gurus on the internet, for losing Sam Darnold and Cam Robinson. So if they sign a player before, I think it's the draft, we'll just say before the draft, it might be a little bit after that. But if they sign a player before the draft, that counts towards that formula. You get a lower pick and whatever. But I mean, I don't, going into the draft, like, they have set themselves up perfectly because I don't know what they're going to do. And it's not like a crisis mode thing. I think it's very good as far as, hey, we can trade down, we can trade up, we can do that. What do you want to see them do in the draft, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fun part is that you don't have a must, right? Like you can honestly let whatever position value falls to you kind of come, right? Like I love the idea of a cornerback. I know in some mock drafts, Will Johnson from Michigan's been dropping. You know, I'd love to get a stud corner at that spot to fill out. I mean, I know we signed a few guys and we overpaid for Brian Murphy a little bit, but like you can do that when you have a rookie quarterback. But I think another person there. I've seen safety. I'd be great with a safety though, and I think it would be ballsy awesome if we picked another Georgia safety and just said, you know what, that was my bad the first time, but this one's different.
I like Malachi Starks actually.
Yeah, I do too.
That's his name, right?
Yep.
All right.
But I also have seen people like who's the North Dakota State interior offensive lineman. Like
Gray Zabel.
I would totally be fine going, yeah, Blake Brandel, like, hey, I know you thought you were gonna play with this new offensive line, but like just kidding. You're gonna be our backup now. We're gonna fortify the other side. I'd be okay with running back, like if someone falls. Like any of those positions now, I'm like, oh, like if we don't take a corner, I'm like, we're okay. If we don't take a safety, we're okay. If we don't take a running back, we're pretty good. Like anywhere they go, the other positions I can go, we're all right, which is a fun position to be in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any pick that's really going to piss me off. Like, like sometimes you're like, what are they doing? Like, I think they're going to trade down.
I do too.
I think they're going to get a couple more picks. And like I said, I mean, that's the other side of the coin. Like, okay, they could take Gray Zabel, or they could just start Blake Brandel, who was actually pretty good next to Christian Darrisaw before he went down with his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the other thing for him. Like, it's kind of like what people were saying with Bradbury, where, if you get a couple guards around him, like he could probably play better. The problem is that Bradbury wasn't very good, and Brandel's actually had some stretches of decent play at left guard. So I don't know. I like, honestly, if you're like, okay, you can't trade down, defensive tackles where I would go.
Mm-hmm.
I would go somebody a little younger. Hargrave and Allen are both long in the tooth, but they're still effective. You want to get some depth there, so if one injury doesn't take you down, I would like that. Jahdae Barron from Texas, the corner, that would be an awesome pick in my eyes. And then, like you said, I mean, I wouldn't be against a running back. Like if Ashton Jinty's down there, yeah, run to the podium. Like that, Ashton Jinty at 24 would be Randy Moss falling to the Vikings levels of ridiculousness, because that would be the nuclear warhead you could put into your offense.
Yeah. And I'm even okay with like them considering a wide receiver here too, right? Like if they have a wide receiver like that they're really high on, you can never have enough weapons. A 3 wide receiver set, which we do quite a bit, to have another stud to go with Addison and Hawkins. Like I mean, I could see that argument as well. So I think you let it play out. Hopefully they have 5-6 guys they like, even if they can trade back to 30 something and grab another pick and still get whatever, their tier of guy that they want. I think they're in just a fantastic position to do a number of things.
So I mean, it's hard to talk about it right now because it's a month out and there's so much like smoke and like whatever. It's just nice to not be in a pressure. Like, are they going to take Hendon Hooker at 23 or God, he's like 27 now, isn't he?
And that was the major steam for a while.
Oh yeah. Like steam. Top 10 pick, like Jackson Dart.
Yep.
Like people are, oh man, I am happy we're not in the market for a quarterback. That's all I will say about that. Yeah. So that's it for Vikings talk, but you stay on the show because this is my favorite part when I have Nick on. It is in his contract that doesn't exist, but we say it exists just for the heck of it. It is Nick's obligatory wrestling chatter. We're about a month out. It's still crazy to me. We're like still a month from WrestleMania. I think it's like 3 weeks, but they moved it back a week because everybody got cold in Philadelphia and they took it out of Minnesota and put it in Vegas. And seeing all the events that they are having around WrestleMania now, I see why. But per usual, I have to lead off this conversation by asking, what is your hottest wrestling take less than a month away from WrestleMania?
I mean, how do you not go with topic 1A, and that is Mr. John Cena's heel turn, right? Like, I never thought in my life that I would see it. I think he is absolutely crushing the first two promos. I mean, the international crowds help, right? Like they are the perfect spot to debut him because they are so amazing. Like it's gotten so hot against him that like we were trying to watch it, and the chance, my wife was like, I don't think we can let our daughters watch this anymore because and my oldest is like, Mom, I know what this word is. And but I think he's crushing it. And I don't know. I just love it. I mean, the amount of text I've sent to my one John Cena friend, like, thanks a lot. You know, this is your fault. John told me this is your fault. Um, he's crushing it, and I think it was a brilliant way to include him. I think Cody's playing the face extremely well, and so that's super fun right now.
I actually watched Raw a couple days late, so they had the opportunity to mute all the chants. And like, you know, they put like extra crowd noise. So I'm like, why are they? And it took me a second to realize. I'm like, oh, they must really be getting after him. And yeah, Cena's like, hey, you just scream your profanity and whatever.
Yep.
I like a lot of the direction. I mean, a lot of people, I hate the internet. Like I hate people on the who are just like watch this stuff like all 22 film, like, oh, Jey Uso, he can't jump over the top. I've said it before. I enjoy Jey Uso on my television screen. I enjoy him coming out and like shaking the damn building with his entrance. I like the fact that they're turning a botch into part of his story because that could be, and who knows, maybe the botch was intent. I don't think you want to botch like that though, because you could probably mess up your back pretty good, clipping the top rope and smoking your back on the apron. But Jay and Gunther, I'm a little optimistic, especially after Monday night where Jimmy's saying we need the right hand man back, get him a little bit of an edge. That'll be fun. Obviously, Cody and Cena, I'm excited for that. The Intercontinental title picture is kind of interesting now that you have give Dom the belt, man. Give my boy Dom. You want my hottest wrestling take? I swear to God, like Dom's always like my hottest wrestling take guy because, like I said, Dom's gonna go in the Royal Rumble and ball for an hour and turn face. Well, that didn't happen, but maybe he walks out, or maybe they have a 4-way and Dom walks out of WrestleMania with the title. Who knows? Intercontinental title, of course, but yes.
That guy needs to win Money in the Bank this year because a Dom title reign, right? Like it's what they did with the Miz, where it's like he's not worthy of being the champ, but he just like somehow was in the right place at the right time. That Dom would take that storyline, but make it so incredibly hot at the same time. Like the crowds would be so behind him too. And my biggest wrestling take too is like, maybe I'm just getting older, but this new, Paul Levesque WWE, I like relate with all the heels. I mean, they have reasons. Like I'm like, good for you in a lot of cases.
Kevin
like you're 100% right. They are like, you're not a bad guy. You're just saying the thing that all of us are thinking. And maybe I'm just getting older. But these new heels speak to my bitter soul sometimes, and I find myself relating more with them than I do the people that I'm supposed to be cheering with.
Kevin Owens nearly got ran over by Roman Reigns, and people are like, "Why is he turning on Cody? He only teamed with Roman." No, this guy's tried to murder me multiple times. I'm pissed off. Like this is a bunch of crap. What is going on here? Yeah, it's just I don't think it's got the hype of last year's WrestleMania build, but like you gotta remember the last year's WrestleMania was like off the charts crazy because you had a generational storyline leading the way. And you had, The Rock was involved. You had, Seth Rollins involved, and like a lot of tentacles to it. Like, this isn't as elaborate, but it's okay. Like, it's okay. I mean, WrestleMania doesn't it's got to feel big. And I think it does feel big because you have John Cena going for his 17th title and threatening to bury the title, away and take it away from people. Like, that is awesome to me. So I'm looking forward to the final stretch here. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the world's women's title build that they've been doing with Io Sky. As long as she wins, I like what they're doing there. So
I'm not a huge triple threat guy. I just don't enjoy watching triple threat matches. So my only gripe is that we're going to get 2 of them. But like both of them, like the storytelling makes sense, and the work that's going into the build with both the Reigns, Punk, Rollins, and then it makes sense. I just don't enjoy that type of match as well, but I think it works and it'll fit just fine.
Last wrestling question for you. What do you think is Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk?
That's a really good question. I don't know, right? Like I don't know. Maybe it's a Brock Lesnar run-in to win the match to destroy the other 2. I sent my beast to help you out. I don't know. I saw a great clip today of like the craziest swerve it was Rollins standing over both of them with Paul Heyman by his side. I was like, oh man, like don't throw that into my head now too.
Maybe he just owes him lunch or something. Yeah. Like, it just cuts to him in the background eating a Jersey Mike sub or something. Like, what? Yeah. I didn't say it was anything about Mania.
I had a friend text me the other day that the favor was going to be that they're finally going to reveal who the anonymous GM was. That was CM Punk's favor. He's been wondering all these years.
It's just like the reveal of some conspiracy theory. Like, Roman and Seth are just like, what? Hey, let's beat the shit out of him. Like, I hate you, but what is this? Like, come on.
Yep.
It is exciting stuff. It is WrestleMania season. And of course, we are approaching draft season for the Minnesota Vikings. And you can catch up on all of that stuff over at thevikingage.com. I'm looking at the website right now. We got some stuff about Harrison Smith and some contract incentives, foreshadowing his post-playing future. We got a former Packer talking about how he's disgusted with the Vikings treatment of JJ McCarthy, and Brad Berriman. I don't write there anymore, so I apologize if I'm mispronouncing Brad's name, but he's making the case for Case Keenum to be the QB2 for the Vikings in 2025. So go ahead, head over to the Viking Aids and check that out. I write at the Fansided Regional Betting Network. I write about the Lions, Packers, and Bears. Oh my. You can catch up on all of the rest of the NFC North Division. And of course, my Viking stuff is over at Zone Coverage. I wrote about how the Vikings can do whatever they want in the NFL draft, and I'll have another article dropping over the weekend. I usually wake up and just figure out some unhinged take in the morning. Just like
it's my favorite part of your writing. Never quite know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I never know what I'm going to get either. Like Tom Schreier, my boss, he wakes up in fear every day for a wrestling reference. But you can check out all my writing over there as well. This is the Viking Age podcast, though. I am Chris Schad at The Real Chris Schad. He is Nick Marty. We do this every week right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel and in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. For Nick Marty, I am Chris Schad. This has been the Viking Age podcast.